Well, good morning. Got a little rain here where I'm at, so I got a little chance to jump back on the charts, but I've already got my trades in for the day. But the trades I took this morning one was right here. I took this SMT. We had ES had took a higher high, and ES had took this high up here, and NQ you see did not get there. So when we formed that rejection candle right there, I knew we would come back down here, and so I try to be a little conservative on what I trade because I am working. I don't have time to sit here all day, but once we broke below this rejection candle bottom, I entered and took profits here when we hit this 8 SMA. And then we did pull back, which I figured we would probably do that. We're not ever going to go the first time, but and then we did not ever break above that rejection candle, so that is, that tells me we're still good for this down. Now, also over here on the 1 hour, when I was looking this morning, I'm up early. We had right here, we had come down here, broke structured low, and pulled back. We formed this 1 hour rejection candle, as you see here. So that told me the higher time frame was a little bearish still yet. So at that point, we went and cleared all this liquidity in the morning, and you see when the market opened here at 8:30, we had a big sweep on both directions. Swept the lows here, swept above some of this right here. Didn't quite get over this, but so that could have been another tell right there. But and then once I got past this 5-minute candle here and we got this displacement down, I knew then we're going to probably head on down again. So once we got over here, once this candle broke the blow, I took profit at the 200 moving average because that, as you see, is the next resistance point, and that's what I did. Now, it did run on down. If you were able to sit here and actually watch the market, then you could have held through this pullback up here and took this. You could have got from we'll just say 589.50 down to 458. You could have got well over 100 points out of that, but like I said, I'm not able to do that all the time, so. But if you have a question or want to look at something else, let me know. We'll take a look at something else. But see what gold, gold's just trending up. So, that I see no entries there. We'll go through some stocks. Apple had a big move up. AMD, AMD is going to follow NQ pretty closely. But you see, you could have took, if you're trading options and you're watching, if you're not financial advice here, but if you are watching stocks like AMD, Amazon, Tesla, Meta, Nvidia, if you will watch those along with NQ, they will tell you sometimes if the stock is lying about going on up or sweeping. You can look for the SMT divergences on this, because NQ is the truth. And you knew when NQ was dumping that AMD was going to dump, but and you see, look here, we on Amazon, we've swept. I mean, this big rejection candle here on Amazon, you knew we were going to probably continue down here for just a bit. We went down and tested this demand zone down here. This orange box is just a key zone I mark out every morning before pre-market, and we always have good reactions out of that. And that's on every stock and every futures that I check. So you see Tesla, there was really nothing here to really trade Tesla this morning. Just did not have anything that looks good and smooth to trade. Meta, did a big sweep down here this morning. And here's Nvidia. When you got this rejection out of this this is a double zone right here. And I see no one else talking about this. But when you have a rejection like we got right here out of this double zone, and then you get another good close, then you are going to go lower. Now, are you going to come back up? Well, yeah. You're not just going to dump and keep dumping, but and my price target on the double zone would be right close to there. And you see, I got the 1414 on there. That's becoming one of my price targets also, but a lot of times I go for this 1272. So, you could have took AMD from 217.90 down to 216.83. So, almost $1 a share out of it. But, if you can catch this happen on Meta or Tesla, you can get $4 to $6 a share out of that stuff. So let's get back on NQ and see what we got. It's 10 a.m. Central Time, and more than likely there won't be a lot going on. We're getting ready to lose a lot of volume, so right now, we got these 3 SMAs clustered in here, so there's just not a clear direction, which, don't get me wrong, I don't really use these SMAs for any type of an entry. They are mainly there just for a timing. They tell me, are we exhausted? Are we extended? Are we tight? Are we ready to make a big expansion move? That's it. Just like over here. They're tight together. We're pointing up. We should get an expansion. Same here. We got exhausted. So at this point, you should know you're going to come back. So now something else you can use is the VWAP, and I just anchor this for the day. And you see we're currently back inside. If you get it down here, you get it at a discount. Up here, you're at a premium. So you knew if you're shorting, you want to be shorting from up here in the premium. And if you're longing, you want to be longing from down here in discount. And this yellow box up here is just a supply zone from yesterday morning at 8:45 a.m. That was our real time, our regular trading hours supply from yesterday. So, we did close over it, but we didn't really close over it with any displacement. So, that's still active. But you see, we're bouncing. This blue is a demand zone, and you'll see me leave those up a lot because that demand zone, as we see, is from August the 6th. And so, it is still holding, you know. So, as long as it hasn't been broken through and displaced through, then it's going to continue to be valid. And so I will not take them off. Same way with supply as we're going up, I'll leave those supply zones on. Now here on NQ, we could continue up because this right here broke our structure to the left right there. And that's just the internal structure right here. So we did break that up here. We did come back. Now we displaced up here. We do have a good candle close over it, but we need a good expansion on up. So if we don't get that, which at this current time at 10 o'clock, I mean, we're starting to lose some volume. So, it may be more of a grind up now. But, don't, and you look at the 15-minute, we're above the 20 on the 15-minute. We're still above this zone here from this morning early. The 1 hour. The 8 is over the 20, so that does suggest bullish, but we're in a downtrend. I mean, we're underneath the 200. So, this is still bearish for me because you go to the 2 hour, you're bearish. You go to the 4 hour, we're bearish. Now we are getting close to this 4 hour 200. So that would be concerning because if, that's going to take a little bit to push through that. And as you see, if you look here on the 4 hour, we are getting a rejection candle forming on the 4 hour time frame right here. So we'll have to wait till about 1 p.m. And the 1 p.m. candle, the next 4 hour candle, if it continues going up, then yeah, we may go up here and test. Because if you see, we got a little far from this 4 hour 20. So, we're a little exhausted coming down right now. And we got this 200. So, yeah, we're going to need something to help push us down if we're going to continue down. But right now, we'll just have to wait and see. But this is why you want to continue watching multiple time frames. You can't just watch one time frame. If you do that, then you'll have no idea what's going on with the higher time frames. So. But I just had a little bit of time this morning to come on and watch for just a little bit and check markets out, just because we had weather here and I'm outside working and can't do that right now. So we may continue up here a little more because of that 4 hour. So that tells, looking at the 4 hour, yeah, we got a possibility to continue up and then dump if that's going to happen. But we just have to wait and let the market structure tell us what it wants to do. So, but that's it for now. Be sure you watch the weekly trade reviews because I go over all the trades. I'll go over winning and losing trades. Most of the time, what I'll do is show you my best winning trade of the week, my worst trade of the week. We'll give the total trades, the win percentage, and such, and see what we can learn from that. Sundays, I always do a market prep and breakdown to get prepared for the next coming session. So, Sunday, we'll mark out the supply demand zones on the stocks and also our profit target levels on those for the next trading session there. So be sure you check those out, and we will try to catch everyone later.